In this video, we're going to take a look at improved reference designator handling in BluePrint Release 7 and later. If you're not familiar with BluePrint reference designators, what we will do when we import data is we'll try to center the reference designators in the component outlines to try to help you with that cleanup process. We're not trying to create a silk screen, we're trying to create a usable drawing so we're not bound by some of the limitations of creating a silk screen layer, for instance. One of the issues that's come up over the years, though, is what happens when there's an ECO and maybe a component gets moved location, gets flipped to the other side of the design, gets renamed, the component type changes. Well, what happens on those cases? So with this release, we've improved the handling when we do run into those situations. So in this case, to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move components Q1, C9, C8 to the bottom, and J1 to the top, and I'm doing that on ECO import here. Just going to grab my new ODB data and import it. And as you can see, it went ahead and moved those components from one side of the design to the other while maintaining the same relative position of the reference designators. One of the things we can do is we can search for flipped components. We need to find those and make sure that they are looking correct. And then you can go out and it will highlight those for you, and you can see components that have been flipped. Another thing you might do is look for overlapping reference designators after an ECO. Now, we've always had this capability of looking for overlapping, but we've added an additional option here is to check if they're overlapping other graphics. So not just two reference designators, but maybe a reference designator in something else. So let's go ahead and do that search. And I'm just going to jump into R5 here and show you what it's found is that R5 is actually overlapping the pins that I'm showing here. So if we don't want that, we can reduce the size of R5. Well, what if there's a bunch of them, as you see this list, that we want to change, but we don't want to change these other ones that look okay? What we can do is we're just going to zoom out a little bit. We're going to format our PCB view. We're going to go into the BluePrint reference designator dialog, and we're going to make some changes in there. Let's just say I want my minimum to be 4 points instead of 14. I'm going to say OK to that. But now what I'm going to do is just go out here and selectively choose the items that I want to change. So I'm going to turn on the selection of reference designators. I'm going to choose my R5, and then I'm just going to get a couple other of these at the same time, holding the control key down here. Now a right click, regenerate reference designators, and it uses those rules. So now if I go back and do the search again, you'll see that those have disappeared from this list. So see, these are some of the enhancements to reference designator handling in BluePrint Release 7 and later.